Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at another new dinosaur from the Mattel Jurassic World line. It's the Dino Rivals Dual Attack Allosaurus. Before we jump into the review, if you're liking the channel and liking the reviews on here, if you can just take a moment and hit that subscription button just below the video, it'd be greatly appreciated. Each subscription helps the channel grow. So moving on to this Allosaurus, this figure and the Pseudoceratops caught a lot of people off guard when it started popping up, I think at the beginning of May in California, and its distribution has slowly started working its way across the country. I'm in Rhode Island, and they finally started popping up in the Northeast. And the biggest deal about this is, it comes in the pretty much standard Dino Rival packaging that we're used to seeing, with one big difference. There's a new insert in the front here that's done in this purple color, and on the front right here it says, as seen in the battle at Big Rock. And what Battle of Big Rock is supposed to be, we haven't really gotten too much information on it yet. It's supposed to be a short Jurassic film that's supposed to be playing before the opening of the Fast and Furious spin-off, Shaw and Hobbs, and I think that movie comes out at the beginning of August, so hopefully soon we'll get more information of what this new short film is supposed to be about. So other than that major packaging difference, the packaging is pretty standard, what we've seen with the Dual Attack. You got the pictures on the top that show where the two buttons are to activate the Dual Attack action features. You still got your T-Rex and Triceratops on the front, and the JW logo in the top corner, and spinning the box around, you get a nice full-out picture of how the action features work, and you get a picture of the two other dinosaurs in this wave, the Pseudoceratops and the Concavinator repaint, and you got your little window cutout for your Dino Rivals collector card. Now, I've only seen it pop up a couple times. I guess there is a packaging variation for this Allosaurus and the Pseudoceratops. I've seen a few pictures of them coming actually in the standard Dino Rival packaging, like this Concavinator, so I've only seen those pop up a couple times. This one seems to be the more common packaging type, so if you're a completionist, good luck with that, because that just seems like a pain in the butt to do. So with the packaging details out of the way, let's crack this dino open and see what all the fuss is about. And here's the Allosaurus out of the packaging. I know in Fallen Kingdom, the Allosaurus that was auctioned off in the movie was called a juvenile Allosaurus, and a lot of people are thinking that this version of Allosaurus is the adult version of that animal, but the two figures, the Roarivore Allosaurus and this one, are pretty much the same size, so I guess we'll have to wait for the short to come out. And in the short, the other theory is that it's supposed to be squared off with the Pseudoceratops, but until we get more information, we won't know what is going on with that short film, but I am very excited for it. So before we take a look at some of the finer details on this figure, let's do a quick measurement. The tail is curved, so it kind of shortens the length a little bit. This figure is pretty much 12 inches right on the dot from the tip of the tail to the snout, and just about 5.5 inches tall at the top of its head crest. Now, this Allosaurus is almost entirely a new sculpt. It does share a few parts with its Roarivore counterpart. So let me just take out the Roarivore version right here. They both share the same legs, and they both have the same arms. And now, one cool thing about this new Allosaurus is, now if you look on the Roarivore one, you can see these slashes on the side right here, and on the other side, like the wrinkles and stuff. They are, even though the body of this Allosaurus is a new sculpt, they put those markings in exactly the same spot. Let's see if I can just focus in on it. Right here, you can see some over here, the wrinkles above the shoulder, and the slashes and wrinkles on this shoulder, and along the side over here. Now, I didn't notice this on my own. I actually only seen one other person point this out when these figures first came out, and it is the Paleo Collector. I'll leave link to his Facebook page and Instagram. He does some really nice written reviews on various dinosaur models, so go give his pages a look and a like. So the color scheme on this figure is pretty simple. The body is molded in this yellowish color plastic, and it just has one app of dark blue paint that starts at the tip of the snout and goes about halfway down the tail, and you have more of that paint scheme going down the legs. And it's a fairly simple paint application. Some figures in the line are painted much better than others, so this is an average paint scheme for me. The teeth are painted, but they kind of almost blend in with the color plastic. The eye is yellow with a black pupil, and looking inside the mouth right there, you can see it has that dark blue tongue with a nice clear coat to give it that wet look. Now, taking a closer look at the head, there's a lot of nice scale detail in there, a lot of wrinkles down the neck, and the head is actually made of a flexible rubbery material. The bottom joint is hard plastic. We already went over the slashes and wrinkles along the body. You have a nice row of spikes down at the top of the head that continue to the halfway point on the tail. And you can see the toe claws are painted, hand claws aren't painted. It only seems like a very few figures actually get their claws painted. For example, the Legacy Collection Spinosaurus. And you can see that tail just curves abruptly at the end, which is probably meant for fitting in the packaging. I do really like the head sculpt on this. This looks much more like an Allosaurus versus the Roarivore version. Just put these two side by side. I just really like how the head crest and just the whole shape of the skull just looks much more what Allosaurus would look like in real life. I still like the Roarivore, but man, does it have some big, goofy looking teeth. So articulation wise, it's fairly standard. Most of the figures in this line just have standard articulation. The arms will not go forward because they are part of the action figure, but they do have a joint right here, so you can move the arms up and down into different positions. The legs can rotate forward and backwards. There's a little, not as tight as a clicking joint as some of the other figures. It seems to click right about here, and once you get to its neutral position, it doesn't really click into anywhere, which this figure does, from what I've seen from other people that have it, has some stability issues because of that. Because there's just a little bit of give in the legs. Like you can see when I stand mine, it leans forward a lot. I've tried readjusting it to stand a little bit better, but you can see it will slowly go back down just because it's just missing that locking joint in its neutral position. I think that would have helped a lot. The tail just has a rotation, so you can just spin it around. Now, I've seen a quality control issue with this figure. I've seen some pictures online of this figure in stores with detail completely snapped off. And when you look at it in the packaging, the curl of this tail is usually pushing up against the box, so it's creating some pressure along this joint right here. So I don't know how strong that joint is. If you have the option to see multiple figures in the store, just, you know, play around with it, see if it's weak, if it's going to give out. So basically, just test out that tail, try before you buy. And since this is a dual attack figure, it does come with two action features. There are two buttons along the back right here. The first one activates its mouth for its biting action, and the back button will activate the arms for its slashing action. So let's move on to comparisons, and I'll take out a few other figures from the line and see how this figure scales up with them. Alright, first up for comparison is human figure Dr. Ian Malcolm, and that's a good size scale for this Allosaurus compared to a human figure. And next up, I know I already showed off the parts of the Roarivore Allosaurus, but they are side by side. They are roughly about the same size, but the aesthetic of the Dual Attack Allosaurus I think is much better than the Roarivore. I think the paint scheme on the Roarivore and coloration is better than the colors on the Dual Attack. And here it is with a attack pack Allosaurus. And here it is with a Savage Strike Velociraptor, and that is one of my favorite Velociraptor color schemes. This one comes in the 6-pack Legacy Collection that was available at Target. And one more attack pack. See, I'm talking about with the stability issues, this little bump. And this Allosaurus comes tumbling over. Here it is with the Savage Strike Dimetrodon. And here it comes supposedly with its opponent in the Battle at Big Rock short film, the Pseudoceratops. And you can see this Pseudoceratops is a sizable figure compared to the Allosaurus, and the Pseudoceratops in real life was a lot smaller than how this figure scales with the Allosaurus. And here it is with the Carnotaurus figure. And just a quick side note, I know the Carnosaurus hasn't been seen in stores for a while now, but lately it's been available on Amazon for its regular retail price of $20, and it seems to be, as of right now, with a few other older figures and Amazon exclusives, so you still haven't gotten this really good Carnotaurus yet. I suggest you head over to Amazon and grab it while you can. And last but definitely not least, here it is with the man, this thing's gonna take a beating on my shelf if it keeps falling over like that. Here it is with the new Indominus Rex, and oh god, I love that figure. This is definitely my favorite release from Mattel so far in the entire line. So final thoughts on this figure. I think it's a good Allosaurus figure from Mattel. It does have its problems. I just think it has a very simple paint scheme. I know there's some quality control issues with the tail popping off, and it definitely does have, if you watch this entire video, has some stability issues. So, like, it's leaning really forward right now. Like, I just have to keep playing with it. I'm gonna have to put something in the joints to keep those legs a little bit more stable from slowly dipping the front of the figure forward. But yeah, I like the sculpt of this figure a lot. It looks really cool. You know, with most of the Jurassic World dinosaurs, especially the carnivores, the proportions are kind of out of whack. The head is definitely too big for the body, and the tail is definitely too short, but we've seen it time and time again with these figures. Just something that, this is how Mattel does their dinosaurs, and you know, they're really not going to make these proportionate and scientifically accurate, because it is based on Jurassic World, and you know, size and science don't really play a difference. Perfect example being the immense size of the Velociraptors. So this figure seems to be a lot easier to find now. There's a few Walmarts near me, and the last few days, one of them in particular has put out like 5 cases of these already, and they have so many, they have them stocked on the top shelves. And I know a lot of people are freaking out that the Jurassic World section is shrinking, and you know, they're not going to be ordering anymore, but I've seen a ton of the new stuff pop up in the last couple weeks, so they are still stocking, and they still want to sell these products, and there's still plenty of new stuff coming out for the rest of the year. We still have the Amargasaurus, the Quetzalcoatlus, the Brachiosaurus coming out, the Mononychus. There's a bunch of new stuff that is still planned, and who knows, maybe when we get more information on the Battle of Big Rock, there'll be a couple other surprise dinosaurs that we didn't know about. Maybe some attack packs or Savage Strike with this Battle of Big Rock style packaging for them. This figure retails for $14.99. I found it easily using BrickSeek. I'll leave the SKU for the case assortment in the description. Just go to BrickSeek, set it to Walmart, punch in that SKU, and just pay attention to the inventory levels of your local Walmarts. If you see a big jump in inventory, that most likely means that they got this new assortment in, and hopefully you can pick one of these up relatively shortly. So that will do it for the review, guys. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Each subscription helps the channel grow and is greatly appreciated. And I will see you guys for the next one.